see that with Labour later on, because nice Irish actually there very important. Especially next week, it'll be a bit slurred. I'll be doing that in a place called Perth, which is in Western Australia, for all those who don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome to the microphone the person we call our esteemed leader, Mr. Peter White, President of the Australian Culinary Federation.
Well, thanks, Pat, and what a great introduction. I don't know about the theme, but leader I'll take. My name's Peter White. I'm the President of the Australian Culinary Federation, and on behalf of the Australian Culinary Federation, I'd like to thank the conveners of the Gourmet Group, Michael Hawkins, the President, the Committee of the Brisbane Club, the General Manager, Paul Wiltshire, all of our sponsors here. I'm sitting with two lovely, likely lads, Otto and Peter Crowe, so thank you, gentlemen. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about the ATF and what all this is about. And I was fortunate enough in around about 2003-04 to be on the receiving end in the kitchen when we did the 2004 Culinary Olympics. And if I go back to those days, we sent a team of about 10 people over, and we would sleep probably about 2 hours a day. We had a couple of black Mercedes vans, and we looked a bit like hoods. We had beanies and bomber jackets and stuff like that. But we loaded all of our stuff. We prepared all of our food. We begged, borrowed, and sometimes stole equipment. We did it all on a shoestring. And then we rock up to do the competition, and we're already exhausted. We haven't slept. We've carried all of this stuff. And then a bus pulls up, and the Norwegian team gets off. There's 50 people. There's 10 well-dressed chefs in their tall hats and their nice white aprons. There's 40 other people carrying boxes, setting up their table, and here we are dragging boxes through the thing, no trolleys. We might have stolen one of their trolleys. And I sort of look back and reflect at those days and think, how the hell did we ever even do it? I think we might have finished 8th or 9th in the world back then. We had a budget of about $120,000 or $130,000. The US team had a budget of about $2.5 million. The Norwegian team had a budget of $4 million. So to finish ranked that high, the way we do it here in Australia, and why we don't rank higher is because the Europeans that judge us don't understand the food that you've just had here tonight. So that plays a big part of it. But when you get there, you cook in a restaurant which has 660 seats in it, and it's 6 kitchens back to back. So each kitchen is like a glass fish bowl. It's all clear. And by the time you start cooking, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people squeezed up against the glass, watching your every move, every bead of sweat drip off into the pan. And hopefully they're not judging. But it is quite different. We practice in the kitchen here leading up to those Olympics and in other states as well. But when you get there, the kitchen all of a sudden goes from a commercial kitchen this big to something about a little bit bigger than this stage, and you get a bit of stage fright with all these people watching you and stuff like that. But you still do it. So it is in a restaurant service. People take orders. And you do a table at a time as you would in a restaurant. So it is quite daunting. But a funny thing happened to us when we were there in 2004. We had something which is called a confit of rabbit. And for those in the gourmet group, you might know a confit is something that's cooked slowly in usually duck fat. So we had to braise these rabbits or confit these rabbits very, very slowly for about 3 or 4 hours. And then we took all the meat off the bones, made a little ravioli, and served this really tiny little ravioli as a garnish. Beautiful. Great idea. Some, the predecessors of Pat probably came up with the idea, but a lot of work. So the equipment over there in Germany is a little bit different to here. It's a lot of it's induction. They've been environmentally friendly for a lot longer than we have, and we've probably got a lot to learn from them. But their equipment is so incredibly advanced than ours. So they said to us before we went, do you want to have a look at the equipment? We'll get some, we'll test it. No, Dutch cooking, we're going into everything. It's different. So we get there, we have a 70-litre pipe of duck fat which we warmed up back at the kitchen. We carry it with us between our legs in the van. The first thing we do is need to get that duck fat to about 85, 90 degrees to put the rabbit in, so it takes so long. We've got 5 hours to do all this work with it. We put it on, turned the induction thing up full blast. Within 4 minutes, there was flames literally coming out of this pot. And we're going, holy crap, the judges had to come around here, slam the lid on it, drag it onto the floor, and the rabbits are in there, so we don't even need to cook it, it'll cook itself again. About 2 hours later, the captain yells and get the rabbits out. So I go to get the lid off the pot. Of course, there's a vacuum created, I can't get the lid off. The vacuum's pulled down, let's pull the vacuum on the lid. So here I am, skinny old Pete, with both hands on, a foot on, trying to crack down, turn this thing on. At the end of the day, the ravioli went all right. A couple of other things didn't go to plan, and we ended up with a silver in the cold kitchen, in the hot kitchen, and gold in the cold kitchen. So we still came home with gold, and we're all pretty happy. But for these guys today, there's 21 people going over to this year. So there's a junior contingent, senior contingent, not senior as old as Pat and Dr. Brady, more experienced chefs we should call them, not senior, and also a pastry team. So it's the first time we've sort of gone as a united group with all of us. So the junior team will be dragging all that crap through to the service, and likely when they're doing their presentation, the senior team will also be helping them. So basically that's it in a nutshell. Our budget this time is about 250,000 if we get there. If we have less, well, there's always got to do it a little bit meaner, they'll be sharing their schnitzels instead of having one each. But it takes a lot of work. We've got 8 or 9 of these dinners all around the country. We do need to raise money, so we have a couple of auctions later on and some great sponsored prizes. But you know, it would be bad for me not to thank those sponsors, especially Bidvest, Moffat, RoboCoop, our wine sponsor Serafino's. Those guys sponsor everything we do, and without them, these guys wouldn't be able to get there. Now, to finish up, I'll say, why do we do it? Why do we want to do this? Why do we want to go there? Use all of our money, take a team over there, drag boxes through the middle of the night, cook all the time, get exhausted, come home. You know, absolutely. I lost probably 8 kilos when I was over there last time, if you can believe that. And why do we do it? While we're there, there's probably about 2,000 chefs there. There's the best chefs in the world cooking alongside of us, and we rate ourselves as some of the best chefs in the world. But we get ideas, we bring them back, and those ideas filter down into our network. But our young chefs, it gives them inspiration, and it gives them some sort of career path that will keep them in the industry. And that's what we're trying to do. There's such a shortage of chefs. Everything is pointing now towards keeping these young people interested, and hopefully they can mentor the next group of people coming through. So I've rated the entree. So for those gourmets in the room, I was lucky enough to have this meal last month at the Press Club in Canberra. Not as salubrious as this venue, but pretty close. So last time I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. I said to Pat, it's probably about 30% better. The barramundi roulade was superb, couldn't fault it at all. The little potato and fennel pollen crisp, I don't know where the pollen was, but really, really tasty and went really well with it. Something crisp is nice. The apple smoked Tasmanian 7 was a much improved dish and lovely. The asparagus terrine, I think I was talking to a Swiss guy next to me, maybe a little bit of good German wine in there, a bit of Rhine Riesling or something just to give it a lift. But apart from that, perfect. So if that set the scene for tonight, the main course and dessert will be spectacular, I can assure you. And again, we do want to raise a little bit of money later on with an auction, but I won't bore you with that. Thank you all for supporting the Australian Culinary Federation and attending tonight, and bon appetit.